Hello and welcome back to the assembly rooms here in Bath. Our designers are standing by to face the challenge of transforming all the household junk brought in by our roadshow audience into things of beauty, we hope. Also today in our masterclass we'll be learning all sorts of useful tips, including how to make your own patterned fabric. Right next to the Roman baths is Bath Abbey. It was the last great medieval cathedral to be finished, but it already had a history before this. Edgar, the first king of all England, was crowned here in the year 973. Now I've sifted through all the battered and broken bits of furniture and I've selected the two things that I think are most in need of the Change That treatment. And they are this shockingly shabby screen and this boringly brown 1920s chair. And from our Change That team of designers ready to face those challenges are John Amabile and Graham Wynne. Nice to see you. We've got some major transforming to do today. We've got quite a shabby screen actually and a 1920s chair. So what are you going to get, John?
I'd like the chair, but the screen.
Oh, you got the screen, you've got the 1920s chair. Now we've got to match the objects with the owners. Come on. Behind this screen lurks a famous designer. Oh no, it's John Amabile. Anyway,
Jealous.
I really love this screen, John.
So
and
do I.
Paul's brought it in, and you obviously like it as well.
I do, I love it.
Smashing.
What do you do with it?
I use it for, well, it's used in my bedroom to cover up a whole multitude of things that I don't really want to look at for the moment.
Oh,
you
right.
know, in the corner.
We won't go into that.
No. But I also use it for my amateur theatricals. I'm involved in straight plays and musicals. And some of the shops in Bath that aren't being used are leased out to us, or let out to us for free.
So you can display things.
So we can display things.
Your forthcoming productions and
yeah,
stuff.
and so we have to use something, a board of some kind, and this is an ideal
And you could use
board.
it on stage as well in some of the shows.
Oh
that
yes,
you do.
yes, it's appeared on a number of occasions.
How much was it when you bought it?
£2
No. From where?
from a jumble sale.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, it shows you what
£2.
value you can get.
It'll only be worth 50p when John's finished with it.
Oh, that's all right.
Anyway, two options for Paul.
Okay.
Yes.
Number one, add a Gothic top to this and add some panelling to make it look quite theatrical. Still quite functional. Or the second option, give you a double-sided facility where we have tapestry on one side, sort of harlequin effect on the other side, using fabrics that you can pin to display.
I like the sound of the second one.
It's very nervous about this, aren't you? Because you really love this screen.
I know.
But something nice will happen to it, hopefully.
But it's needed some work for a long, long time. It's been sat in the corner saying, do something to me.
We'll come back at the end of the show and it will be revealed to you.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Get to work, John.
Okay.
All right. Excuse me, can you get out of my seat? I want to show you how it works. Look at this. Ready? See? It's good, isn't it? Actually, I shouldn't be so rough with it because it is 1920s, isn't it, I think?
Yes, it is.
I really think it's nice. It really caught my eye because of this pattern and everything, which is lovely. Has it been in your family a long time? Is it yours?
It was my husband's grandmother's.
Yes.
And she died a few years ago. So mother-in-law very kindly asked me if I'd like it.
Oh, wonderful. So,
So,
Suzette, what
yes.
would you like to happen to it? Do you want it changed much?
Yes, because it's looking a little jaded. So a nice new cover and...
Something like that. A nice new cover,
A
Graham.
nice new cover.
A nice new cover.
A nice new cover.
It's probably going to change the whole thing. Two options for Suzette.
Well, I sort of agree with you actually. I quite like it as it is.
Yeah.
But if we must change it, I think there are two things we could do. It's got that nice sort of 1930s style. It almost reminds me of one of those chairs you see on decks of a steamer.
Yep.
So we could sort of play that up and maybe sun bleach the wood and use some sort of, I don't know, wide striped fabric or something on it. Give it that sort of airy kind of deck chair-y sort of feel. Or the other thing we could do with it is to, again, play on the fact that it's Art Deco, 1920s, 1930s, but make it far more a sort of refined piece of furniture, as if it would belong in a salon.
Refined?
Refined.
What do you think, Suzette?
I think I'll go for the refined.
So play it on the actual period of,
1920s.
Yes,
of the
I
chair.
think so,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, let's not try and disguise the fact that that's when it was made, but just enhance it as best we can.
Well, Suzette, I
Sounds
think you're a bit
lovely.
worried about what's going to happen to this chair, as indeed I would be. But I think it's in fairly good hands,
I'm
So we'll
sure.
see you at the end. It will be
It'll be
revealed to you.
lovely.
Okay?
Yes, lovely.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, we don't just set challenges for our designers. The masterclass is where we get them to teach us some of their very special skills. Today's tutor is Linda Barker, and Andrew has brought along this pretty sort of Well, naff is the word that comes to mind.
No, it is
Well,
naff,
I mean,
actually.
it is a little bit, isn't it? And you want it sort of changing and stuff, don't you?
Well, yeah, it's, I've had it for years, about 12 years. It's a video and television stand, and where I've moved around with my job, it's just got damaged, and to the extent that we put it in the loft and left it there.
Now, are you into DIY or restoring or anything like that?
Well, I'm into DIY at home slightly, or my wife has got me into DIY,
Right.
I should say.
So you kind of
but I
know what
work for DIY as well.
Oh dear. Oh, so
Yes.
you're dealing with an expert today.
know.
So maybe you should be teaching Linda.
Well, I'm not that much of an expert, but I know a little bit about it.
So what are we going to be learning, Linda?
Well, we've got a really difficult surface here that I think lots of people will have in their own homes. It's this Conti Plas,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's right,
This
yes.
surface
That's
which
this.
is Conti board finished with plastic,
Right.
made to look like wood. If it's got a good sanding with just a light sandpaper, and we've just primed this with this spray primer, and then it can really take hold of the paint. So we're learning how to tackle that. We're going to learn, secondly, how to cut fretwork sides for the bench, and then we're going to be using fabric colours on a basic seat pad. So decorating your own fabric really from something, you know, that's just very, very plain and very cheap.
So I've taken off the applique pieces, then I bought this fabric which was about £4.99 a metre, but it's best to shop around, and once you see what you want, you need about 4 metres of a standard width. That should be more than enough. Now what I've done is I've laid it out so that I can make sure when the screen stands up again that all of these arrows line up, because there's nothing worse if you do have a repeating pattern that it doesn't key, like wallpaper. I've overlapped the edges and trimmed them back, and I've staple gunned, which will be hidden later on. When you come to a join like this in the fold, make sure you have enough that you can press into there, then do like a hem, so you can then staple there and onto there. Again, that'll be hidden with the braid.
So what I'm doing here is just cutting the fretwork base for the back of the bench, and I've just done a little template that I've drawn, just scored it onto the MDF and cut out with a jigsaw. So we've got this, which is going to form, as I say, all the back, all the way around the piece of furniture. And I've just primed this with a spray primer, the same one that I used on the melamine. And then, how are you doing, Andrew, down
Yeah,
there?
I'm
Do you like
doing fine.
the colour?
Yeah, it's great, but I think you need a pair of sunglasses while you're looking at it. I'm sure my son, he's going to love this colour. It's going to be
Yeah?
excellent, yes.
Graham, what have you done? You've pulled it apart. It's no longer a chair, it's a chair. I mean,
You know, don't worry.
Where's the rest of it?
It looks more drastic than it is, Mark. I mean, these chairs are unbolt, so I haven't sort of taken a sledgehammer to it or anything.
so what are you doing?
Well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show the exposed pieces of wood around here.
Yeah.
I'm going to black lacquer them. Which
That's what you've got in your hand,
Yeah,
is it?
it sounds quite drastic, but it was something that they did quite a lot of in the 1920s and 30s. So
What kind of lacquer is it?
Well, this is just an ordinary sort of enamel spray.
Yeah.
But you can also obviously brush it on, but you've got to wait hours and hours for it to dry, which you don't have time to do today. So I'm just going to
Go on then.
bodge it with
Let's
this.
see having a spray with that. Nice shaped arms, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, look at that.
Now, having applied the fabric to the other side, what I've done on this side is I've sized the screen with a normal PVA glue. The fabric was very, very porous, so I had to give a good base to key onto. So taking a roller, because that gets the glue on flat, if you leave any blobs of glue, it will come through the felt. What I did before that was I measured a centre line, you can see there, and took a template of a diamond, like that. Made sure I had enough to get maybe 4 high with enough for the skirting. Then got some felt, which you can get from craft shops, DIY shops, or display companies. You'll get it cheaper in a display company, so check your yellow pages. And I'm just applying that to each corner. Leave enough for a flange so that you can go over the back. Again, all the joins will be hidden with my fancy braid at the end.
I've just got an Indian cotton here, which is very cheap, about £3 a metre. And I'm just plotting out where I'm going to put the fabric paint. So I think these big swirls, these big contemporary swirls in black, very graphic, suit the kids.
But what do you think is yours?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah,
It'll
is that
certainly
okay?
go in with the
Yeah,
colours and everything.
the
a bit
lime
of
green
contrast.
just needs a bit of, you know, bit of bold graphic quality just to lift it a bit.
You're going to go round the
I've
line
just got,
with
this
the
is
black.
ordinary soft fabric paint
Ooh, right.
in black.
Yeah.
Paint it on. A little tip, I've made up the cushion cover, but I've just put paper inside because you don't want it to go through to the
This is going to be a bit
underneath.
nerve-wracking. Are you going to have to do this, Andy?
Yeah, once I've done one, you can do it if you want to.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
where
want to
would you
see
get
it.
this from?
Oh, these are from haberdashery shops or department stores.
Go on then, let's have a
Lots
look.
of paper.
Now,
And
she'll
it's
make it look so
really
easy because she
easy.
always does.
No, it is
Yeah.
because it's just simply, you just paint it on like you would
Oh,
ordinary
you don't
paint.
go sort of round in one swirl,
No,
you do it
you can
like
just
that.
do it bit by bit. And then once it's on here and vaguely dry, you can just seal it with a hot iron. Just
Which is this?
protect it with a cloth. Protect it with a cloth and then go over it with the iron, and that seals the paint.
Okay, so we've got the chair in bits now, and I finished spraying the frame, but I'm now going to have a go at upholstery, but I'm afraid this is sort of budget and run upholstery, because I'm not particularly good at needlework. So I'm doing the whole thing just using a staple gun. And I've also decided to leave on the original fabric, because my guess is in a few years' time, this will be, you know, quite an antique, and she may regret actually me removing it all. It's quite clean, and I don't see why we can't use it as a wadding, really, underneath the new upholstery. So I'm just sort of doing the back, using a ordinary staple gun, and just attaching the fabric onto the frame. And then once we've staple gunned it on all the way round, I'll just use some decorative braid, which I've got here, which is in the same black as the frame, just to cover where all the staples are, and that can just be glued on.
Let's take a break now and watch a crafty idea from designer Simon Turner, how to utilise a kitchen utensil in a totally different way.
A simple fruit bowl can be made from a sieve or wire mesh. Cut the frame off a sieve with a pair of scissors and trim any rough edges. Measure some clear tubing around the edge and cut to length. With a craft knife, carefully slice lengthways along the tube. Apply a line of glue all around the edge. And push the tubing firmly into place. Trim off the end. Then push a screwdriver carefully through the bottom of the sieve to make 3 holes. Thread a screw through a rubber foot and push through the hole and secure with a nut. And there you have it. Alternatively, cut some wire mesh into an oval shape. Add some tubing in the same way as before. Add some feet. Mould into shape. Then just add fruit.
I never thought of using a sieve like that before. Couldn't be simpler, could it? OK, let's find out how the designers are getting on with those transformations.
What I've got here now is the sides, or the back rather, of the bench, and I've just mitered down each of these sides here so that it fits this shaped top, which will be the base of the seat. And these are literally the back rests. Now, what I'm going to do when all this is in place is have a foam cushion. That's what Andrew's working on now, very ably. And you're going to iron that, aren't you, Andrew?
I am.
And then I'm just going to touch up. So there's some rough patches at the moment, but I'm just going to touch up once it's all assembled. And then varnish the whole lot.
This looks a little bit intricate to me, John.
Well, this is where you hide all the messy corners, because you pop the braid on at the end and you've got a lovely finished edge.
All right. Oh, ooh. And this is exhausting for me, holding these
I can
pins.
see that, I know.
It really is. Very tough work. So with this braid, when you've pinned it, then what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to use upholstery studs for these because that will actually create the feature I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Then I'll lift the edge and glue along the seams as I go, just using
All-purpose.
or a similar type glue. Something that's good for fabric or plastic.
All right.
Right, well, I've nearly finished the chair without actually using a single stitch, and we've got some time left over. So Linda has helped me make a pattern because I thought it might be quite fun to put a cushion on the chair. But this is where it could all go sadly wrong because she's persuading me that I can use the sewing machine. Well, I have never done this in my life, I have to tell you. So this is where I'm told you put the thing in, put that down, I hope. And I've got 10 fingers at the moment. Oh my God, it's all going sadly wrong. I think I need help. Do you sew? Come and help. Because I'm going madly off course here. Am I doing that right? What's your name? Judith. Am I doing that right? Yes. Okay, oh my God. Oh. It's going to be a miracle if this is straight.
Well, I think I'm playing gooseberry in the masterclass. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Yeah, sorry, am I interrupting something?
comfortable here.
Yes, it'll be too comfortable. Let's just see the finished result of that. Look at that. It's grown, Andrew.
It's amazing. What a transformation.
You're really pleased?
Oh, I'm really pleased with it. I think my son will be really pleased with it as well. But for something to be a television and video stand to turn into a bench which has got
Working
facilities for storage for his video games and such like, it's absolutely amazing.
So what have you learned? I mean, what could you use again, do you think? What techniques?
Well,
can you use again?
one of the most important things I've learned is that the material that it was made with was what's called plastic finished chipboard, and we're actually painting on it. And I thought you couldn't do that with that sort of material. So I've learned how to do that, and actually.
You did the swirls, didn't you, on there?
Swirls on the
and
material.
you've learned how to do ironing, of course.
Yes, and I've learned how
Don't
to iron
forget
it,
the
of course, because
mustard
you have to iron it afterwards.
You did really well, actually. I was doing a lot of the work. I wasn't exactly sat down. We did a lot. The main thing was cutting out the fretwork, which I did with the jigsaw. But the rest of it was straightforward. You know, we used water-based paints once we've got that primer down, and then just finished it with a varnish, so it's durable. And I sewed up the Indian cotton cushion cover and just put a foam pad in there, and just painting on to make quite a jazzy fabric. Just using one pot of fabric colour, which is, you know, £3 or something.
It's wonderful.
So
Where's it going to go, do you think?
It's going in my 10-year-old boy's bedroom. I'll have to make him a table to go with it now so that he can have his television on there and he can play his video games.
Well,
but
there you go. You
I
can
think
use all these techniques again.
And we'll
Yes.
give you the paint.
Yes, and there's enough room for 2 people. He's just got a girlfriend.
Oh.
So it's
So it will be used.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
great. Well, thanks for all your hard work, Andrew,
Well-
and thanks for teaching us yet again, Linda, in our masterclass. Okay, it's time for those transformations to be revealed now. Paul, you're going to be amazed at your new screen.
Promise?
I'm not saying you're going to be impressed or you're going to think it's wonderful, but you are going to be amazed. Are you ready? Reveal it.
I like it. I like the crossing. Yes.
You like it?
Yeah. Oh, and there's more.
And now, ready? Da, 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 da.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh. And John is dying to do this. Da 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 da, ba da 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 da.
Just a show off.
But Paul, you said at the beginning that you wanted it to be multifunctional. Maybe
Yes.
use it on stage sometimes.
Absolutely.
Maybe display things. So the front part, the bit
Yeah.
we showed first, you
Yes.
could display things, and this is the part you can use in your bedroom or on stage or whatever.
On
What do you
stage,
think?
Absolutely.
Honestly?
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah?
Great idea. And it's not too bright and strong a blue on this side for the bedroom. I've got a bedroom which is dark blues, very dark, quiet slate blues, and very, very light pastel blues. Nothing bright in the middle. That's going to go with it very well. Nothing too striking.
Great.
It's great.
So, take us through it, and let's just have a little look like that.
I started on this side by drawing a line down the middle and keeping these dimensions put on the cream diamonds, then added the blue in. Then we used the braid, which actually hides all the joins, to give you this like almost like a notice board facility.
And the back.
And the back,
This is the most exercise John Marbley's had in years.
what we did here was just lengths of material which I'd got in a factory outlet just to save a bit of cash, and stapled that on and hid all the edges with this chenille braid.
Simple
isn't it?
ideas. Simple ideas are always the best.
You're impressed?
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I'm impressed as well. I think it's superb.
Please indeed, thank you very much.
I've got 3 more screens at home. Do you want to do that?
No?
Well done. OK, let's have a look at what Suzette thinks now to her new look chair. Suzette, do you remember your 1920s, 1930s family heirloom chair as it was?
I do, Mark, I do.
Are you nervous about how it might look now?
No, of course I'm not.
So why are you shaking?
Great faith in Graham.
Are you ready? Have a good look, because Graham Wynne has done this.
Oh, lovely. I love it. Very nice, Graham.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. It's lovely.
I was
love it.
terrified
Really?
because I knew it was in the family and I didn't want to do anything too wacky to it, you know.
But he has to, I mean, he pulled it apart at one point. He'll tell you in a minute. But look,
Did you really?
there's a cushion.
No,
Can
it's
I?
lovely.
Am I all right?
I have to tell you, yes, you can touch that. That is my very first attempt ever and probably last on a sewing machine.
Oh, look at that. Well, it's very good. That's an
clever
envelope.
That was
It's
with a
got
bit
an
of
envelope
help from
flap.
Linda, yeah. An envelope.
Right. No, it's lovely.
It's nice,
'Cause,
isn't it?
Yeah, the contrast with the arms, the black and the beige.
And you've got a bit
Very
of wood
nice
in there as
indeed.
well, so it's
Yeah.
sort of bigger. You've got more.
Yeah, that's lovely. It really is
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
she's
So
really
pleased.
No, I really am pleased.
How did you change that 1920s, 1930s chair?
Well, very briefly, what we did is we, as you say, we took the chair apart. I sanded down all the wood, and then I just sprayed it with a black lacquer to get this sort of ebonized effect on it.
Yeah.
And then we just used a staple gun, no sewing involved whatsoever.
Right.
Completely reupholstered the entire chair.
And it still slides forward?
Yes, no, we haven't.
It's like, yes, it does. You pleased?
So excellent. It's lovely. It really is. Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Thank you for bringing it
Very
in.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. Thank you for bringing it in.
Yes.
And thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
In fact, thanks to all our designers, because I think you'll agree they have surpassed themselves with these transformations today. We're back here at the Assembly Rooms in Bath tomorrow, when, amongst other things, we'll be teaching you how to create a rustic effect on an old wardrobe. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.